Hello, this is Tamsin Astor, your Chief Habit Scientist. I wanted to talk to you today about this idea of rules in changing your habits. So there's this great metaphor that you can use for this, which is Ikebana, which is a Japanese art of flower arranging, which has been around since about 7 AD, about the 7th century. I first came across it when I went to the Chelsea Flower Show in London about 20 years ago with my then mother-in-law, or she was about soon to be my mother-in-law. And I was struck by the extraordinary beauty of the calm and peaceful and minimalist Japanese displays using this method of Ikebana. Recently, I had a conversation with a girlfriend of mine who has been training in Ikebana, and one of the things that she reminded me of is, how very strictly rule-bound it is, how this process really involves strong, constricted, really important frames of rules that you have to stick to when you start doing this, and they're really strict about how you do that. And this is a great practice to think about how you engage in life, because one of the things about shifting your habits and becoming your own habit scientist is really starting to learn what works for you. And it's hard to know what works for you if you don't create a consistent frame. If you don't create a consistent set of rules and rituals and follow them strictly, you won't know what works for you. So when I work with clients, and when you think about creating shifts in your habits, start by creating some really clear rules. Like, be your own scientist, right? Think about, you've got a dependent variable and your independent variable. What are you doing and what's the cause, right? The effect and cause. Look at that relationship so you can really start establishing what works for you. Otherwise, it's really hard to know whether the shift you're feeling is because you've changed your sleeping, or because you've changed your exercise, or because you've changed your diet, because you've changed your blah, 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 right? So you want to really know what's working. Does that make sense? Okay, so take the example of sleeping. Start going to bed every night by 10. Why? Because 10 is when the pitta fire, the part of the system in your physical body starts to fire up. And you all know what that's like when you have been sitting there falling asleep around 9:30, maybe falling asleep on the sofa watching Netflix, or getting bored when somebody's talking to you, or just feeling that sinking energy. And then as it approaches close to 10, the energy starts to build. That's that pitta fire. It's part of the Ayurvedic profile, part of your dosha, part of the time of day, right? It's all connected. It's all intimately connected. So you want that pitta fire to be focused inward. If you're sleeping, that energy goes towards detoxing your digestive tract and towards cleaning out your brain. And the research actually shows now that the brain shrinks when we fall asleep. The cerebrospinal fluid increases and effectively washes out your brain, which is really to do with processing your memories and your experiences of the day. But if you're awake, that energy is going towards texting, watching TV, folding laundry, working, or whatever. And it's really beneficial to have that energy directed inwards. So create that strict rule. Think about the Ikebana. Think about creating some strict rules in your life that you can follow and figure out whether they're really working for you. Because until you have some rules in place, you don't know which ones to break. Make sense? Have a great day.